Well, here's my wet on wet watercolor. I let it set overnight, taped down to the table. And right now I went back, well, I did go back in and add a bit more color. Kind of what I'm liking is some of these blooms, these edges that's occurred. This is something I've never had happen. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with it with this dark edge that kind of outlined some of my washes. But you notice I have some really nice negative space that I left within my little abstract piece. And so the next thing what I'm going to do now is I'm kind of done with this tape. So I'm going to untape my watercolor from my table. Throw my wonderful washi tape away. And so now I've got something that is ready to work on. I might, when I work on watercolors like this, a lot of times I can change the orientation. I can turn it 90 degrees. Maybe I like it this way. I'll rotate it and see which way I like it to be orientated to hang. But as for me working on it, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start with some ink and micron pens. So the microns I'm using are the 0.8 size tip, which is a thicker tip. And there's a 0.1 that I'm using, which is finer. 0.005 is the tiny smallest one. And with something like this, it's a little tricky. It's just too small. And so what I'm really going to just start doing is start working in some of this negative space. So if you're uncomfortable starting in the big one, let it go. I think what I'm going to do up here is I'm going to start right with this one here. I think what I'll do is I like circles. Always have. So I'm just going to draw in different variations of sizes within this space. I'm really not thinking too hard about it. I just kind of want to fill this in different, like I said, different spaces, different shapes. Just like that. And then with a space that's bigger, like I have down here, I'm going to get my 0.8. This one is my 0.1 that I used right there. But I'm going to use my 0.8. And I think with this guy, I'm going to stick with that motif of a circle, but I'm going to make some swirls. If you remember, I had some Lisa Conlon books in my classroom that are great resources. She sells these, I think they're meant for coloring books, but I use them for inspiration for different kind of linear designs and repeat patterns and things that, you can do. It's just doodling. It's kind of what you're doing. So I'm just kind of creating these little swirls inside my circles. And I'm making them different sizes, because size variation is more visually appealing, of course, until I fill these in. Okay. And I can do a great big one if I choose. Put a smaller one beside it so it really accentuates it. And I'll fill this all in. So it's something right here. Maybe I'm going to go back to my smaller 0.1 micron. And I'm just going to add the same motif, doodle design up here in this little guy. Got a little bit of color in there, but it's really fainted and really light. I'm just going to continue on until I fill these in, these spaces. A lot of times when I have a space like right along the edge, I'll take my wider pen and I'll do something that's a little bit more not perfect with line. Just kind of create and fill this white space in. I have a short lines and some longer ones. Like so. So you can kind of see, and I can flip it and rotate it as I work on it. Just see which shapes I like. A lot of times I will go around one of my boxes here with just a line and follow that really organic loose edge that I created with watercolor, just to kind of box it in. So that's your second step with your wet on wet watercolor and ink. It's just a really loose, easy practice that you create kind of this really kind of beautiful design So enjoy it, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with.